And they're off. Isa Breeze broke sharply from the inside. Linda's Opal going for the lead with Ruby's Ghost between them and Mike and the Viking. These four across the track earlier. At the back early is Silent Patsy. The inside duel have taken off into a speed duel. It's Ruby's Ghost on the outside of Linda's Opal. Mike and the Viking is 2 lengths back in third, racing on the outside of Isa Breeze. Then it's a gap of 6 more to the trailer, Silent Patsy. The opening quarter was 23 seconds flat. There's 5/16 of a mile left to travel, and a short advantage goes to Ruby's Ghost. Linda's Opal still there from second. Mike and the Viking is third, moving well on the outside. Isa Breeze needs to find more from fourth, and still at the back, Silent Patsy. They turn for home, and now Ruby's Ghost is shaken 2 lengths clear. Linda's Opal trying to fight back on the inside. Second is Mike and the Viking. Isa Breeze fourth. Ruby's Ghost getting clear in the final 1/8 of a mile. It's Ruby's Ghost up by 4. Mike and the Viking a clear second. Linda's Opal's tired. This is all Ruby's Ghost. Ruby's Ghost and Melanie Pinto by 4 to open up the day. Mike and the Viking second, then Linda's Opal, Isa Breeze, and Silent Patsy. 5 furlongs and 59-1. And they're off. She's a Darling broke a bit slowly. Sigiriya showing speed from the outside. Bamboo's Babe is also showing up between horses. That's Holiday in Jail. Third along the inside is Tachyon Speed. Then we've got Bamboo's Babe. Following that one is the slow breaking She's a Darling, and the new trailer is Can't Buy Class. They're fairly bunched up in the early stages. It's less than 4 lengths front to back. The lead belongs to Sigiriya, who's racing 3 deep with Holiday in Jail between her and Tachyon Speed as they pass the opening quarter in 23 seconds flat. She's a Darling now makes a big rush as the complexion changes. Sigiriya tries to shake loose and is now being challenged by She's a Darling. 3 wide move from Bamboo's Babe from the back. She's passing Holiday in Jail and Tachyon Speed, and the trailer is still Can't Buy Class. Just over a 1/4 of a mile to go, and Sigiriya has repelled the bid of She's a Darling. Into second, Bamboo's Babe as they pass the half in 46-4. At the head of the lane, it's Sigiriya moving well. Down the outside, Bamboo's Babe tries to reel her in. The rest is a battle for show. Sigiriya still up by 2 within the 8th pole. Bamboo's Babe is trying. She's safe for second, but she's not going to get to Sigiriya. Sigiriya, Juan Crawford picks up where he left off. Another easy win by 5 lengths. Bamboo's Babe was second. Holiday in Jail and Can't Buy Class in a photo for show. 6 furlongs and 1:12-2. And they're off. A very level beginning from the center. Naughty and Nice is showing speed with Night Saber on the inside. Taproom looking for position from the far outside draw. Connect It moving into mid-pack along the rail with Always Rosie to her outside. Wicked Sense will race towards the back, and the trailer is Now You See Me. Naughty and Nice has sprinted clear to a 3-length lead as they round the opening turn. Second on the inside is Night Saber with Taproom to her outside in third. A gap of 2.5 to Connect It, racing in fourth. Always Rosie races as a pair with Now You See Me, and the trailer is now Wicked Sense. The opening quarter was 23-2. They're midway down the backstretch, and Naughty and Nice is racing unchallenged at 3-5. Night Saber is alone in second, racing 2.5 lengths better than Taproom. Connect It comes off the rail to try and launch a rally from fourth. Now You See Me has been wide throughout. Wick and Sense is moving well on the inside. And now trying to launch a rally from the back is Always Rosie. Half and 46 and 3. They've yet to reach Naughty and Nice, who's moving comfortably with a 4-length advantage as they reach the quarter pole. Night Saber is still racing in second. Taproom is third. Not much movement from the back. They swing for the drive, and nobody is getting to Naughty and Nice yet. Naughty and Nice still up by 4. Connect It tries to make a rally on the inside, trying to get to Night Saber. Always Rosie wide on the course. Naughty and Nice has been well clear throughout, but Connect It is gobbling up ground on the inside. It's going to be a close finish. Connect It flying up the inside. Connect It gets up past Naughty and Nice. Connect It in an 11-1 upset. Naughty and Nice second, then Night Saber and Always Rosie. About 7 furlongs and 124 flat. And they're off. Video evidence broke like a shot from the center. Bourbon North is second on the inside, advancing to launch a challenge. Speedy Bullet and Sweeping Red races a pair. They're a length better than Jersey King. My Math is Correct falls back with the Great PJ. 4.5 furlongs to travel. It's a duel for the lead between Bourbon North and Video Evidence. Stalking from third is Sweeping Red with Speedy Bullet to his outside. It's a gap of 3 to the Great PJ, who's just past Jersey King, and the trailer is My Math is Correct. 22 and 3 for a contested opening quarter. Video Evidence right back on the outside of Bourbon North. Speedy Bullet is third on the outside with Sweeping Red. Those two have been racing in tandem throughout. In good position from fifth is the Great PJ. A quarter of a mile to go. It is now Speedy Bullet who's overtaken Video Evidence as Bourbon North drops out. Swinging to the far outside to try and launch a rally from the back is My Math is Correct at the head of the lane. It is Speedy Bullet on top. Speedy Bullet has the lead. Video Evidence tries to dig back in. It's well back to the Great PJ in third. The lead belongs to Speedy Bullet. Speedy Bullet opens up a length and a half. Speedy Bullet going better than Video Evidence. Coming down to the wire, Speedy Bullet and Leo Salas. Speedy Bullet by 2. Video Evidence second, then the Great PJ and My Math is Correct. 6 furlongs in 1:11 and 4. And they're off. Hiatus broke sharply. Karoom broke slow. From the outside, Gus's Gamble and Valley Victory are both rushing to put the pressure on Hiatus. Have to Reload is racing as a pair with Blue Max. Then we have Society Joe, and it's about 8 more lengths back to Karoom, who's going to have to make up 12 at least on the leader. Hiatus was able to respond to the early challenges and is now a length and a half clear as they turn into the backstretch. Gus's Gamble races on the outside in second, 2 lengths better than Valley Victory, who's found his way to the rail. Blue Max is racing in fourth. He has 6 lengths to make up on the leader. Have to Reload fifth. Society Joe sixth and still well back to Karoom. The opening quarter was raced in 22 and 2. It's a quick pace being set by Hiatus. He still has a 2-length advantage on Gus's Gamble. 3 more to Valley Victory. They raced well spread out as they go into the far turn. Racing fourth on the outside is Blue Max. Have to Reload needs to do better. Still at the back, Society's Joe, and Karoom is out of the race. Just over a quarter of a mile to go, 45 and 1 to the half. It's Hiatus up by 4. Angling to the outside to try and launch a rally is Valley Victory as Gus's Gamble calls it quits. Blue Max tries to launch a rally from the back, but Hiatus is still moving strong at the 8th pole. It's Hiatus. Valley Victory is trying to reel him in. Blue Max is into 3rd. Hiatus is getting a little tired. Valley Victory tries to gain. Hiatus still on top by 2. Valley Victory is coming, but as they approach the wire, it's Hiatus. Hiatus holds on a length. Hiatus over Valley Victory, then Blue Max and Society Joe, about 7 furlongs in 1:22 and 4. And they're off. Very level beginning. Rise My Guy showing good speed from the inside. Racing in second, putting the pressure on, is 40 Flash. DeFogger is third. Fourth on the outside, Boston Bay with Bill Needle, and the trailer is Attestation, but they're pretty compact, 5 lengths front to back. Rise My Guy being hounded by 40 Flash as they roll down the backstretch. Attestation is advanced into third, splitting foes with DeFogger to his outside as they pass the quarter in 23 flat. Bill Needle is saving ground from 5th, and the new trailer is Boston Bay. Still little separates them as they race into the sunset turn. Rise My Guy cannot quite shake clear of 40 Flash, but his lead is up to a half length. Attestation is loving what he sees in front of him. He's moving well in the 3-path with DeFogger 4 wide. Bill Needle is just 2 lengths off the lead, but he needs somewhere to go, and Boston Bay is angling to the outside to launch his rally. The whole field still just 3 lengths front to back. The half was 46 and 4. Rise My Guy is tired. The lead now belongs to Attestation. It's Attestation and Chris Husbands as they race down the stretch. Rise My Guy on the inside. Bill Needle has found room and he's trying to surge, but he still has 2 lengths to make up on Attestation. It's Attestation up by 2. Bill Needle coming. Boston Bay from the back, but Attestation is going to prove best. Attestation wins by 1 1/4. Bill Needle second, then a tired Rise My Guy in Boston Bay. 6.5 in 1:18 and 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fort Erie Racetrack for a Tuesday afternoon of racing. It is another hot one here in Fort Erie, 27 degrees Celsius or 82 Fahrenheit. We have some cloud cover today. We have a breeze coming out of the west at 13 miles per hour. The main track is fast and the turf is firm, 29 minutes to first post. Visit our website, forterieracing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show to get info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping selections, and info about upcoming races and events. Racing will be back next week at Fort Erie. Monday's first post will be 4:30. Then on Tuesday for Canada Day, we will be starting at 12:15. Join us on Monday, June 30th. After the races, we'll have a free concert at the Tiki Bar featuring The Trip. And a reminder, Canada Day racing on Tuesday, post time will be 12:15. And on Canada Day, Fort Erie Festivals will be having cupcakes, free cupcakes for Canada Day for the kids. 500 cupcakes will be available to celebrate Canada's birthday. Wiener Dog Race is always a fan favorite day. They are returning this summer, Sunday, July 13th. Admission is free. More dog racing coming to Fort Erie on Sunday, August 17th, when the Basset Hounds and Corgis will take the track. Join us for Fort Foodie Fest, returning on Sunday, July 27th. Don't miss out on the delicious action. Kicks off at noon. Save the date. The 90th running of the Prince of Wales Stakes will be held on Tuesday, September 9th. New for Prince of Wales Day this year, we will be having a fashion contest, so come out to see who will be crowned the best dressed at the 90th Prince of Wales. Be sure to book your table in the Turfside Dining Room, open on live racing days. Reservations are recommended. Head down to the Paddock Shack for burgers, hot dogs, sausages, fries, poutine, plus beer and soft drinks, located near the walking ring. Treat your team to an exciting day at the races, only $12.39 per person. The track pack includes one food item, one drink, and a Fort Erie live racing program. For more information, go to our website. Become a member of HPIBet.com today. Get $100 when you bet $100, plus your first bet is on us. Once again, we're having non-winning ticket draws here at Fort Erie. Bring your non-winning tickets to the customer service desk to enter a prize draw. Today's prize draw features autographed Prince of Wales t-shirts signed by winning jockey Justin Stein. Tune in to your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 700, Thursdays at 10:30 and Saturdays at 10. We want to say thank you to our partners at Oneida New Holland of Niagara. New Holland has generously provided Fort Erie with a new tractor for our maintenance this season. Jackpot High Five wagering offered in race 6 today. The carryover is $6,423.15. Smoking is allowed in designated areas only at Fort Erie Racetrack. No food or beverage are allowed in these areas, and no cannabis is allowed on the property. 6 races on tap today. Changes coming up next. Race 1 is clear. There are no changes in the first. In race 2, we have an overweight on the number 2, Panyard Tap. The rider will be 2 pounds over at 114. Race 3 is clear. No changes in the third. In race 4, we have an overweight on the number 7, Java Power. The rider will be 2 pounds over at 114. Race 5 is clear. No changes in the fifth. And in race 6, we have an overweight on the number 5, Lulu's Lullaby. The rider will be 2 pounds over at 121. Back at it again for another hot Tuesday here at Fort Erie. The heat wave is still affecting southern Ontario, but we have a nice breeze which is keeping it cool enough to race. 6 races on tap today. Let's take a look at our selections. Race 1 is an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up which have never won 2 races. We're going 6.5 furlongs over the main track to kick off the early pick 4. Field of 5 to kick off the Tuesday. I'm taking a look at the number 4, Ontario Holiday, making his start off the claim for trainer Joe Humber, who had a winner on yesterday's card. Ontario Holiday showed speed and got tired to be 4th when racing at Woodbine for 7,500 on June 13th. Wheels back in 11 days. Amy's Holiday's progeny have done very well on the dirt here at Fort Erie. well enough that they bought him to stand stud in Manitoba, where it's all dirt racing. He's got some speed. I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs around for a long time. Deshaun Gaskin coming down from Woodbine to ride this one for the Humber Barn. And for second, I'm going with the number 2, If You Insist, who definitely seems like the one to beat here. Dueled on the lead, got tired, finished 5th for $15,000 on April 27th, was claimed that day for $15,000, moves to the Mark Fournier Barn. And obviously they've taken their time getting this one ready to come back to the races, has been breezing steadily here at Fort Erie. Ran on the dirt here once last year over a sloppy track in October and ran second. It was a good effort. 70 Beyer, looks pretty good on paper. So we'll see if You Insist will live up to the short odds in his return to Fort Erie. Number 3, I'm going with the number 1, Loaded Justice. Was claimed for $5,000 at the end of the Woodbine season in December. Ran second that day behind the speedy Professor Rides Again. Reloads typically do pretty well on the dirt. 48 flat breeze out of the gate on June 2nd. That's not a bad move at all. I think Loaded Justice should have a good showing for George Newland and Lincoln Rodhay. Kirk Johnson will be riding. Race 2 is a claiming race. 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. $62.50 down to $6,000. 6 furlongs on the dirt. Field of 6 to kick off the pick 5 wager on today's card. I really begrudge picking this horse to win, but I just think he's in a group where he is too good. I've gone with the number 3, Star Scholar. This is a horse I used to groom. We won with him for $25 back in 2023. Star Scholar doesn't want to win. He loves to run second. He's competitive. He shows up. He runs his race. He doesn't get by for the win. And we saw that in his Fort Erie debut on June 10th, where he had every opportunity to go by Forest Flash and just didn't want to. This field, I just don't think there's anyone who's as good as him. I don't think there's someone who's going to be able to hold him off. I think the other ones will submit to him. Ishmael Mascara riding, John Sims, always a live barn. Today should be the day for Star Scholar. For second, I'm going with the number 5, Coherence, coming down from Woodbine for trainer Billy Theranos. Apprentice Cheyenne Kerr coming down for the ride. This one's been running at Woodbine, ran on to be 4th in both of his starts so far this year. I don't know how he'll handle the dirt. Sky Mesa seems to be more of like a turf synthetic sire, but I think they do run on the dirt. Had a 48-1 work over the Woodbine training track on June 9th. Coherence could be the one to upset Star Scholar. Then for third, a bit of a long shot, number 6, Canadian Daddy. Private purchased over the off-season, comes down here to Fort Erie. Had a nice win at Woodbine for Maiden 75 in September. He's mostly a closer. He runs, even though he misses the board a lot, he's got a lot of races where he's only beaten 2-3 lengths. You know, I think he'll run on for a fringe here. Pierre Mailhot riding for trainer Barb Bailey. Race 3 is the feature on the card. It's an open allowance race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. No conditions, sprinting 5/8 on the turf course. And the always dangerous Adamo and Icon team are sending out a very tough one here in number 6, Garnet and Gold. Garnet and Gold was claimed for $15,000 at Turfway in March, came up to Woodbine, won a $40,000 non-3, won an A other than allowance, made a lot of money real quick. They ran her back quick again in a 2 other than, which is a big jump up, and she just couldn't, she couldn't produce that same kind of effort. 3rd start in the month of May and jumping up to that level. So now she's had a few weeks to freshen up. She's getting to face Fort Erie Company as opposed to 2 other than Woodbine Company. 4 for 9 in her career. She got beat 2 lengths in an allowance on the turf at Fairgrounds in December, so I know she'll turf. I think Garnet and Gold just going to dominate this field. Juan Crawford has been on a roll. Adamo 5 for 10 here at Fort Erie, 6 wins at Woodbine. This is just a tough group to ignore no matter what they enter. And for second, I'm surprised the 10-1 morning line on the number 1 Silver Bullet Lady. Silver Bullet Lady is quick. She went gate to wire for $7,500 on May 10th at Woodbine, got claimed that day. She likes the inner turf at Woodbine, so I don't see any problem with her running on the turf here. A couple of good breezes on the Fort Erie surface since coming down here. Melanie Pinto with a winner on the day's card, riding this chestnut mare for Mike Blake. Silver Bullet Lady, I think, will be around for a small share. Number 2, Loaded Question. She ran on the turf once in her life last year. Ran a very game second behind Freret, who's a tough mare. Always used to show up. She got a little bit of speed out of the gate. Chris Husbands, a 2-win day yesterday. I think Loaded Question's a horse worth watching. Maybe this might be a bit tough, but I think she'll have some okay turf efforts if the opportunities come this season.
Race 4 is a maiden 4,000 claimer for 3-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Final pick 3 of the day kicks off here. Field of 7 going to go to gate. I've taken a look at a long shot here, the number 2, Magical Champagne. Me and Ashley going in very different directions here, which kind of tells you what kind of race this is. It's really tough to love anybody in this field. I've gone with Magical Champagne just on the logic that he ran twice against Final Run for Love, who looks like probably one of the choices here last year. Ran good against him both times, and he was at an experience disadvantage last year. This year he kicked off his season on June 10th in a bad race that Final Run for Love was second in. Showed nothing. He goes on Lasix, so I'm assuming he bled that day. Might have just needed to start off the layoff too. I can make excuses and hope he runs better. I know he's got a little bit of speed. He showed some run last year. You get the 5 pounds off with Alexis Sanchez. I think Magical Champagne, if you're getting 10-1 in this field, worth a shot. You got to watch the board, though. In for second, Final Run for Love. He was second best behind the Dream Listener on June 10th. That was a very slowly run race, 5.5 in 107, and the track has been fast, so there's no excuse for any horses to be going 5.5 in 107. Final Run for Love is a bit more of a one-paced horse. He can keep going. He's not going to give you a big run, but he'll keep grinding. He got beat a nose when he ran 6.5 at the end of the year last year. He's not that much, but he's competitive. The 42 buyer he earned in October would be competitive with this field. Chris Husbands, like we said, 2-win day yesterday, going for trainer Bill McMahon. Final Run for Love should be in the hunt. And then for third, the number 4, Screen Legend, 5-2 on the morning line. I know he ran second on the dirt in June 3rd with a 47 buyer. I'm suspicious of that. That was an off-turf race. Take my allowance as the best. The other 2 were pretty bad. At least he's got some speed. I'm just questionable. I wouldn't take a short price with him on the dirt. Juan Crawford rides this one for trainer Julie Mathis. Race 5 is a claiming race. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race this year or never won 4. 6.5 is the distance. 5,000 down to 47.50 the claiming price. Late double wager kicks off here. I'm taking a look at the number 1, Hot Omelet. I see Ashley Mayu and the DRF also seeing things my way. Hot Omelet ran third for 8,000 on June 10th behind Getting Ahead and Super Cop. That's a good group to run third against. Gets a little bit more distance and a class drop, which are both positives for this one. She's 3 for 4 on the Fort Erie Dirt. Pretty honest mare by Jiu-Jitsu Jacks. I think she'll have a good showing here. Cheyenne Kerr will ride for trainer Josh Robillard. Number 7, Tamina, was in a pretty tough starter optional 10 on opening day. Chased the pace and gave way to be 4th. Crafty Oaks, Silver Candace, Mountain Sound came back to be second in one of the long run stakes on Father's Day. This is a much easier group. Tamina, a difficult horse, but she has the ability. Kirk Johnson riding for Julie Mathis. Then the number 3, Taylor Moon. This one broke out of the gate and had to be scratched a week or 2 ago, so now shows back up here. She makes her Fort Erie debut. She's by Society's chairman. Had some good races against tougher company at Woodbine last year. The form's a bit hit or miss, but the good races are good. And you're getting some class relief here. Ishmael Mascara rides this one for Bill and Janelle McMahon. Last race of the day, race 6, Jackpot High 5, wagering in the 6th. That's a 4,000 claimer for non-winners of the year or non-winners of 4. We're going about 7 furlongs over the turf course. A good race to close out the card. Nice field of 9. You can make a lot of cases here, I think. I like the number 6, Mr. Mystiques, as a bit of a long shot. Even Ashley's got this one in for second, so I'm not completely insane here. Mr. Mystiques ran an okay 5th, not very threatening, in a 5,000 claimer on June 10th. That race was won by Commander Joe. That was a very classy field. Commander Joe's a Woodbine horse. Brady O'Brady's been a good horse forever. Strong Ending was Horse of the Year a few years ago. That's not a bad group for Mr. Mystiques to run against. He won on the inner turf at Woodbine last year, so I know the 7/8 on the turf will be no problem. Amanda Vandermeersch will ride this one for the first time. She won one of the long-run stakes on Father's Day. Joni Mitchell trains. I think Mr. Mystiques at 8-1, definitely worth a look. Number 7, Palace Prince, probably the horse to beat. Ran a pretty good 4th in a similar spot on June 15th. Jack the Cat, Cupid's Claw, Storm and Dave. Not a bad group, 65 buyer. He's just an honest horse. 68 starts, 13 wins, 4 seconds, 13 thirds, always shows up. $181,000 in the bank, racing at all these cheap places for $4,000. Hopefully he can work out a trip. Terry Husbands and Julie Mathis have had some luck together so far this season. I like Palace Prince. And then the number 1, Dots Vision. Comes out of the same race as Palace Prince, finished 6th that day. Very back classy, 14 wins in his career, 10 years old. Had 1 win last year for 5 at the similar spot. He's got a good post. He'll be covered up. Chris Husbands knows this one. We'll see if Dots Vision can get back to his winning ways with the right trip. 5-2 morning line. Somebody likes him. So there you have it. 6 races on tap. 14 minutes to first post. Best of luck with all of your wagers and enjoy your day here at Fort Erie Racetrack.
It's easy to make a bet on HPIBet.com. Follow these simple steps and you'll be betting in no time. First, go to the HPIBet.com website. Sign in to your HPIBet account. Find the track and race you want to bet on. Click on the Place Bet button. Click on the bet type you want to wager with. Click on the amount you want to wager. Click on the horse you want to wager on. Click on the green Place Bet button. Review your bet confirmation information. It's all done. Remember, all this can be done on most mobile devices. Now cheer on your pick to victory.
We saw some prices on the Monday program. We'll see what we have in store for the 6th race Tuesday program. We'll kick it off here in the opener and allowance event. Non-winners of 2 lifetime set to go 6.5 furlongs here on the main track. And I'm going to kick it off here with the number 2, If You Insist. This one for the Mark Fournier barn was 5th last time out, was picked out of that event, which is a 5 furlong event on the Tapeta up at Woodbine, and raced pretty well in my opinion, knowing that this one went to the front and backed up out of it. It's well because, in my opinion, this horse probably needed a race. And when you go down the page, this horse has better performances that you can find. Very curious to see this one back on the dirt. Does have a dirt start. It came here locally over a wet track where this one just came up second best. And I have to say, looking at this horse physically, very impressed with this one. You know, I honestly don't remember the last time this one ran here and what the horse looked like then. But in terms of making an impression would be my paddock pick. Just carries a lot of weight, moves very well, has a nice walk. So If You Insist, I think is going to take a big step forward, getting back on the dirt in the new barn now, and then second start off the layoffs. That is my top pick. A couple of others to consider. The number 4, Ontario Holiday. This one in the Joe Humber barn. A new acquisition was claimed just on June 13th for $7,500. Came off of Devin Gittins, and this one went to the front and surrendered. And I don't know necessarily if that's the style that we want from Ontario Holiday today, and I think the connections probably are going to reassess that, because the best races have been when this one sits just off of that. You can look at those races 2, 3 and back. You can actually look at the maiden score and see the same thing, and I just don't know if this horse wants to be on the lead. This horse rather be chasing the pace and then making one late run, and I have a feeling that's what we're going to see here from Ontario Holiday. So use this one in the second spot. Finally, the number 3, Short Story Long. First off, the claim for John Sims, who does so well with his claims, whether they're late in the season up at Woodbine or they're kind of earlier in the meet in the following year. He's ready to roll, and this one was able to score last time out for $10,000 against the maiden claimers, going 6 furlongs. Now, the question a little bit will be the dirt, but from a pedigree standpoint, this being a son of Reload should have no issues. And It was such an easy winner last time out. This one decimated the competitions. I think in terms of the fractions, were they that quick in the later stages? No, but in the earlier stages, this horse was kind of getting a good trip mid-pack in that compact field and was just much the best. So we'll see. Short story long was a short price on the tote board last time I checked, so I go in a different direction. I like the 2 If You Insist, who I think is going to be part of that pace scenario. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's first race. Race 1 is an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Traveling a distance of 6½ furlongs, competing for a purse of $24,600. Race 1 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent early pick 4 wagering. Race 1 post parade. First to parade is number 1, Loaded Justice. Kirk Johnson rides for trainer George Newland and owners Lincoln and Curtis Rodhay. Number 2 is If You Insist. Chris Husbands in the saddle. Mark Fournier trains for owners Tanya Orth and Dean Zaniel. Number 3 is Short Story Long. Amanda Vandermeersch rides for trainer John Sims and owner Tony Gato. Number 4 is Ontario Holiday, racing for Hey Ho Stables. Deshaun Gaskin pilots for trainer Joe Humber. On screen now, number 5, Play the Dots. Edgar Zenteno rides for trainer Josh Robillard and owner Dubraj Potion. 1 minute to post for race 1. Early pick 4 wager kicks off here. Race 1 field heading into the chute, approaching the gate. Not much time left to get your race 1 wagers in. 6-5 favorite is the number 2, If You Insist. Field for race 1 set to head behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Early pick 4 wager kicks off here in the first. 6 races on tap for a Tuesday here at Fort Erie Racetrack. 6-5 favorite. The number 2, If You Insist. 2-1 on the number 3, Short Story Long, and 3-1 on the number 4, Ontario Holiday. Field of 5 set to go to post here. First in will be Loaded Justice and Kirk Johnson. If You Insist is fractious behind the gate. Loaded Justice. Still working on Loaded Justice. And they secured the gate for Loaded Justice. Gate 2, If You Insist, off the claim for the Fournier barn. Chris Husbands had a 2-win day yesterday. Short Story Long and Amanda Vandermeersch to gate 3. Ontario Holiday, another one making its first start off the claim, Deshaun Gaskin. And last up will be Play the Dots with Edgar Zenteno. All set. And they're off. Loaded Justice broke a step slowly, but he's with the pack. If You Insist is showing speed from the inside. Short Story Long also vying for position with Ontario Holiday, and deep on the course Play the Dots. The trailer is Loaded Justice, but the whole field is separated by less than 2 lengths. They're trying to sort themselves out now, and the advantage is going to If You Insist. It's If You Insist, who's a half length better than Short Story Long. Ontario Holiday racing between that one and Play the Dots, who's 4 deep as they pass the quarter in 23-1. They race within the half-mile pole, and the trailer remains Loaded Justice, who's 2 lengths off this dueling quartet. Into the turn they go. The lead still belongs to If You Insist, but the margin is still short as Short Story Long hounds him from the outside. Now Short Story Long puts the head in front at the 5/16 pole. Ontario Holiday is third, moving well as Play the Dots begins to tire. Loaded Justice has tailed off in last. A quarter of a mile left to go. The half was 46-4, and Short Story Long has the advantage from If You Insist. Ontario Holiday tries to do better from third and then Play the Dots. It is Short Story Long and If You Insist locked in battle, but Short Story Long has the head in front at the 8th pole. If You Insist tries to dig back in. Short Story Long is drifting in. If You Insist finding more. If You Insist, Short Story Long on the outside. Short Story Long proves best. It's Short Story Long and Amanda Vandermeersch by ahead. If You Insist was second, then Play the Dots in Ontario Holiday. 6.5 in 1:19-3. Unofficial in race 1, the winner is number 3, Short Story Long. Second is the 2, If You Insist. Third, number 5, Play the Dots. And fourth, number 4, Ontario Holiday. Unofficial race 1 order, 3-2-5-4. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's first race, number 3, Short Story Long. Short Story Long is a 3-year-old chestnut gelding by Reload out of Yoli, bred here in Ontario by Frank DeGiulio Jr. Ridden to victory today by Amanda Vandermeer, Short Story Long is trained by John Sims for owner Tony Gato. Back-to-back wins for Short Story Long. He won his maiden-breaking effort on May 23rd while attracting acclaim from the Sins Barn. Second win in 6 lifetime starts, completing the 6.5 furlongs in a hard-fought 119-3. Congratulations to the connections of Short Story Long. Hold all tickets until race 1 is made official. Race 1 is now official. Prices are up. Short Story Long returns $9.20 to win, $5.50 and $3.40. Second, number 2, If You Insist, $2.90 to place, $2.30. Third, number 5, Play the Dots, $3 to show. $2 exacta, 3-2, $21.50. The $1 try, 3-2-5, 40.65. $1 super, 3-2-5-4, 71.45. On screen now, the win photo from race 1. Canada Day racing coming up on Tuesday, July 1st. For Canada Day, we will have a special post time of 12:15. And on Canada Day, Fort Erie Festivals is bringing free cupcakes for the kids. 500 cupcakes will be available to celebrate Canada's birthday. Race 2 changes. We have an overweight on the number 2, Panyard Tap. The rider will be 2 pounds over at 114. 18 minutes to post.
Race 2 is on the main track at 6 furlongs. This is a claiming event for the Colts and Geldings. Non-winners of 2 Life in for the claiming price of $6,250. And I'm going to kick things off here with the number 3 Star Scholar, who I have some reservations about. Obviously, it's a little tough to pick a horse that's won for 35 lifetime on top. But I did think last time out in the dirt debut, this horse ran really well. Obviously, never had dirt experience prior to that. Came up a little bit short and finished second behind Forest Flash, who's very speedy, and that was certainly the case back on June 10th. Maybe this gelding also needed a race, so I expect him to take a step forward. He wasn't in for the tag last time he ran, and now he drops in level in for $6,250. So I'm going to hope that all of that together puts him in the winner's circle for the second time, but I can understand why someone might be a little cautious of the 3 Star Scholar. Also worth noting, John Sims took the opener today on the Tuesday program. It is my second choice. I'll go to the 1 Forest Woodsman. This for Danny Wills. I think this horse is better than we saw last time out. I liked this horse a fair bit on June 10th. Exits that same race as Star Scholar and chased the pace and faded. But to me, 2 things to note. The blinkers go on. Maybe this horse won't be as keen early on and kind of, dedicated towards going to the front. But more importantly, first-time Lasix. I think that's going to play a big role here, as in both of those starts this year as a 4-year-old, this horse has backed out of it. So I think the Lasix makes this one eligible for the improve, and I don't mind the rail draw for this one. I think we're going to get some value here on the 1 Forest Woodsman, who I thought looked really good here in the walking ring, but not to be outdone by the number 5 Coherence. This would be my paddock pick. This horse had really good energy coming over here in terms of walking on the track and over here to the saddle enclosure, and since the tack went on, he was on his toes for a bit and just really looks like a pretty well put and put together individual, and Coherence is going to try the dirt for the first time, and from a pedigree perspective, I think he'll be okay. Last time out, he was in for 7,000 up at Woodbine, going 7-ace on the Tapeta, and he tried to close from towards the back of the pack. I'm hoping that he can break a little bit sharper and be a little bit more involved in here, but these connections, obviously, when they come down here, they're looking to win, and they're looking to find the right spot for their runners and try to find that level where they can be competitive, and maybe that's going to be the wake-up call here. You can see to get this one prepared, there have been a couple of works over the training track up at Woodbine, and the move on June 9th, 48-1 breezing, suggests that this horse should hold up just fine on the main track. But for me, I'll see what the 3 Star Scholar can do in that second career dirt start. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's second race. Race 2 is a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Going for a claiming price of $6,250 down to $6,000. Traveling a distance of 6 furlongs, competing for a purse of $19,800. Race 2 offers Win Play Show, Exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent pick 5 wagering. Race 2 post parade. Number 1 is Forest Woodsman. Terry Husbands riding for trainer Danny Wills and owner Jeannie Ryan. Number 2 is Panyard Tap, racing for Jadon Racing. Matthew Dennis has the call for trainer Saul McHugh. Number 3 is Star Scholar. Ishmael Mosquera rides. John Sims trains and part owns with Denise Carpenter. Bingo's Grind, the number 4. Kirk Johnson riding for trainer George Newland and owner Lincoln Rodhay. Number 5 is Coherence. Cheyenne Kerr in the saddle for trainer Billy Theranos and owner Natural 8 Stable. Completing the field, number 6, Canadian Daddy. Pierre Mailhot riding for owner trainer Barbara Bailey. 1 minute to post for race 2. Pick 5 wagering offered here. Field is in the chute as the starting gate takes position. Not much time left to get those race 2 wagers in. 4-5 favoritism on the number 3 Star Scholar. 2-1 on the number 5 Coherence coming down from Woodbine. Pick 5 wagering offered here in race 2. Last call to get your wagers in. Race 2 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Pick 5 wagering offered here in the second. First to come up will be Forest Woodsman and Terry Husbands. Panyard Tap and Matthew Dennis to gate 2. 4-5 on Star Scholar with Ishmael Mascara. Bingo's Grind and Kirk Johnson. Coherence with Cheyenne Kerr. Last in will be Canadian Daddy with Pierre Mailhot. All set. And they're off. Coherence broke sharply to his outside Canadian Daddy. Along the inside, Panyard Tap and Forest Woodsman both vying for position. Towards the back are Bingo's Grind and Star Scholar. It's about 4 lengths front to back, and they're clustered towards the lead. Forest Woodsman on the rail with Panyard Tap between horses. Wide on the course, Canadian Daddy and Coherence, all vying for the lead. Star Scholar is tracking that quartet from 5th. He's 2 lengths off the leaders, and to his outside is Bingo's Grind. The opening quarter was a contested 23 seconds flat. The lead belongs to Coherence. He's ahead better than Forest Woodsman. Panyard Tap trying to find more. Canadian Daddy ridden along. Star Scholar is moving well, splitting horses and angling 4 wide is Bingo's Grind. Coherence is shaken clear. He's up by 4 lengths at the quarter pole. It's Coherence and Cheyenne Kerr. Star Scholar is second as they race the half in 46-1. They reach the stretch, and it's Coherence trying to hold off Star Scholar, who has 3 lengths to make up. Coherence looking for the wire. Star Scholar coming down the outside. Bingo's Grind is third. Coherence is not stopping. Star Scholar is second. Coherence finding enough. It's Coherence and Cheyenne Kerr. Coherence going to win by 2. Star Scholar second best again. Bingo's Grind third, and then Panyard Tap fourth. 6 furlongs in 1:10-3. Unofficial in race 2, the winner is number 5, Coherence. Second is the 3, Star Scholar. Third, number 4, Bingo's Grind, and fourth, number 2, Panyard Tap. Unofficial race 2 order, 5-3-4-2. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's second race, number 5, Coherence. Coherence is a 5-year-old chestnut horse by Sky Mesa out of San Andreas Fault. Bred here in Ontario by 247-9316 Ontario Limited. Ridden to victory today by apprentice Cheyenne Kerr. Coherence is trained by Billy Theranos for Natural 8 Stable. Coherence ships down to make his Fort Erie debut a winning one, completing the 6 furlongs in a time of 1:10 and 3. Congratulations to the connections of Coherence. Hold all tickets until race 2 is official, and race 2 is now official. It's official. Prices are up. Coherence, $7.30 to win, $2.70 and $2.10. Second, number 3, Star Scholar, $2.10 and $2.10. Third, number 4, Bingo's Grind, $2.30 to show. $2 exacta, 5.3, $9.60. The $1 try, 5.34, $14.15. $1 super, 5.342, $26.40. And the $2 double, 3.5, $34.70. A reminder, if you're on track with us today, we're having non-winning ticket draws. Your losing tickets could turn into a winner. Bring your non-winning tickets to customer service to enter the prize draw. The prize offered today is an autographed Prince of Wales t-shirt signed by winning jockey Justin Stein. Race 3 is coming up in 22 minutes. There are no changes in the third.
Race 3 is our first turf event on the day at 5 furlongs. This is for the fillies and mares, an allowance event. A nice field here assembled, and we have to start with the morning line favorite, the number 6, Garnet and Gold, who obviously deserves to be the morning line favorite. Looks extremely tough off of those efforts up at Woodbine, and you look at those efforts, they've been 6 furlongs on the Tapeta, and last time out had to take a big jump up in class off a win, and you can see Little Teddy ended up being much the best. It was a compact field, but just a very different caliber than Garnet and Gold has faced in the past. And I mentioned Little Teddy's a stakes winner. There have been other horses that have tried stakes competition, so that really speaks to the level back on May 29th. And prior to that, had 2 back-to-back wins where this horse stalked the pace early, 2-3 lengths off of it, made a big run, was able to draw clear in both, and has obviously had a good year so far with the purse earnings. I think now cuts back in distance, gets onto the turf, should have no issues against this field. So very short price on Garnet and Gold, but rightfully so. If you're looking at others, the number 5, Getting Ahead, is who I land on next. This one for Jeff Boyce, who she was ready to roll fresh off the layoff in her first start since joining the barn back on June 10th. She was able to take them gate to wire, and kind of looking at that race and how it panned out, she made the lead and she stayed in front. No one could really keep up with her. The time overall, I thought it was a decent time. It wasn't excellent, but she did what she needed to do. I will say last time before the race, she was quite the handful, and it still did not phase her at all, as you can see based on her performance. And right now they are attacking her up. They're having some issues with the tack, but in my opinion, she is being well behaved in comparison to last time. So for me, a positive sign. She does have that, sort of eligibility now to take a step forward. Second off the layoff. And finally, the number 1, Silver Bullet Lady. This one for Michael Blake on the inside. This one was able to win the first start as a 7-year-old back on May 10th up at Woodbine. It was at today's distance. It was on the Tapeta, but very controlling, was able to get to the front quite easily and stayed in front. And I thought, it's kind of interesting to see the way the race unfolded, that no one went with her, but she was very quick, just to tick off there from 46 to the half, and like the way that she did it. You can see her past performances go down the page. I mean, she's consistent. She always fires a race, and to me, I think she's a major contender here. She's 10 to 1, on the morning line. We're not going to get that price on her, but I also think she doesn't necessarily need the lead. Maybe she prefers the lead, but she could still be a little bit fierce if she's close enough to it early, and she should be with that inside draw in this turf sprint. But they're all going to be chasing the number 6, Garnet and Gold, the heavy favorite. We'll see if Icon Racing and Tony Adamo can keep things rolling here at the Fort. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's third race. Race 3 is an allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Traveling a distance of 5 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $24,600. Race 3 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent late pick 4 wagering. Race 3 post parade, number 1 is Silver Bullet Lady. Melanie Pinto rides for trainer Mike Blake and owners Ascot Stud, Mike Blake Sr., Amanda Enns, and Mark Stout. Number 2 is Loaded Question, racing for Joy Elkins. Chris Husbands has the call for trainer Joe Humber. Number 3 is Menagerie. Kirk Johnson rides for trainer Ken Albu and owners Six Brothers Stable. Tony Alderson owns and trains the number 4, Julie's Mist. The rider is Jeffrey Alderson. Away from parade, number 5 is Getting Ahead. Ishmael Mosquera rides. Jeff Voice trains and part owns with Herb McGurr Jr. and Greg Atto. Number 6 is Icon Racing Stables Garnet and Gold. Juan Crawford riding for trainer Tony Adamo. Completing the field, number 7, Super Cop. Deshaun Gaskin rides for trainer Joe Humber and owner Eleanor Tonguzzo. 1 minute to post. For race 3, we are on the turf to kick off the late pick 4. Field has made their way onto the turf course as the starting gate takes position. Not much time left to get your race 3 wagers in. 6-5 favorite is the number 6, Garnet and Gold. Support coming in for the number 1, Silver Bullet Lady, in her first start off the claim. Late pick 4 wagering offered here. 5/8 on the turf, open allowance mares, feature race of the day. Field for race 3 is behind the starting gate. It is now post time, set to begin loading for the late pick 4. Still 6-5 on the number 6, Garnet and Gold, in her Fort Erie debut. Field of 7, open allowance mares to sprint 5 furlongs over the turf course. First to come up will be Silver Bullet Lady with Melanie Pinto. Long shot loaded question with Chris Husbands to gate 2. Last year's Molson Cup winner, Menagerie, with Kirk Johnson. Julie's Mist and Jeffrey Alderson. Getting ahead in Ishmael Mosquera. Even money on Garnet and Gold with Juan Crawford and the Icon Racing Stable Silks. Now 4-5. Last in will be Super Cop and Deshaun Gaskin. And we're all set. And they're off. Out slowly, Julie's Mist. Garnet and Gold broke on top. Silver Bullet Lady, and now between horses, getting ahead, is also vying for position. Fourth on the outside is Super Cop, racing as a pair with the stablemate Loaded Question. Then it's a gap of 3 to Julie's Mist, and the new trailer is Menagerie. The lead now belongs to Getting Ahead. She's racing ahead better than Silver Bullet Lady and Garnet and Gold, who's rebidding on the outside as Silver Bullet Lady taps on the brakes. 22-1 for the opening quarter. Super Cop is racing in 4th on the outside. Loaded Question 5th. Julie's Mist trying to get going from the back, and still trailing is Menagerie. Less than a quarter of a mile to go. Garnet and Gold trying to get by Getting Ahead, who's hurting her out several pass. Silver Bullet Lady along the inside trying to find more. Big rally from Super Cop down the far outside. Garnet and Gold takes the advantage. Super Cop is flying. It's Garnet and Gold. Super Cop coming. Garnet and Gold up by 2. Garnet and Gold proves best. Garnet and Gold and Juan Crawford by 1.5. Super Cop raced very well to be second. Then Getting Ahead and Silver Bullet Lady, 5 furlongs and 57-3. Unofficial in race 3, the winner is number 6, Garnet and Gold. Second is the 7, Super Cop. Third, number 5, Getting Ahead. And fourth, number 1, Silver Bullet Lady. Unofficial race 3 order, 6-7-5-1. Ladies and gentlemen, the stewards have posted the inquiry sign. They're looking at the start of the number 4, Julie's Mist. Again, that's a steward's inquiry involving the break here, looking at the number 4, Julie's Mist. Hold all tickets as the inquiry is ongoing. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's third race, number 6, Garnet and Gold. Garnet and Gold is a 4-year-old bay filly by Astern out of Garnet Street, bred in Kentucky by Michael Cook. Ridden to victory today by Juan Crawford, Garnet and Gold is trained by Tony Adamo for Icon Racing Stables. 5 wins and 10 lifetime starts for Garnet and Gold. She takes her Ford Erie debut on the turf course, completing the 5/8 in a time of 57-3. Congratulations to the connections of Garnet and Gold. Hold all tickets until race 3 is made official. Inquiry involving the start of the number 4, Julie's Mist, is ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, the stewards have deemed that the number 4, Julie's Mist, did not receive a fair start. Therefore, number 4, Julie's Mist, will be declared a non-starter. Win, play, show, exactor, try, super wagers on Julie's Mist will be refunded. There'll be a consolation double paid. And if you were live to Julie's Mist in the pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5, you will inherit the post-time favorite, who was the winner, Garnet and Gold. So once again, due to an unfair start, number 4, Julie's Mist, has been declared a non-starter in race 3. Race 3 will be made official after the tote adjustments have been made. Number 4, Julie's Mist, declared a non-starter. And race 3 is now official. Prices are up. Garnet and Gold returns $320 to win, $250 and $210. Second, number 7, Super Cop, $640 to place, $360. Third, number 5, Getting Ahead, $310 to show. $2 Exacta, 6-7, $16 even. The $1 Try, 675, $22.25. $1 Super, 6-7-5-1, $38.95. $2 Double, 5-6 was $14.20. The Consolation Double with the non-starter number 4, $660. And the $1 Pick 3, $56.85. Fort Erie Racetrack wishes a warm welcome to the Beachcombers Senior Citizens Association joining us here today. Enjoy your day at the races. Join us on Monday, June 30th. We'll have a special Monday concert featuring The Trip at the Tiki Bar. Admission, as always, is free. Race 4 is coming up in some amount of minutes. Overweight on the number 7, Java Power. The rider will be 2 pounds over at 114 pounds. 19 minutes to post for race 4, now 18.
Race 4 is for the $4,000 maiden claimer, set to go 6.5 furlongs here on the main track. And pretty wide open event. I think if you're playing the late pick 3, you probably need some coverage in here just because you've kind of know what you're getting with these horses, and a couple of them, they haven't made it to the winner's circle yet. But looking at the group, I'm going to go with a horse that I think potentially won't go off favorite in here. That's the number 6, Best in Class. This one for Joe Humber. In terms of the first start of the year, they did go into one of the cup races on opening day and was mid-pack in that event. Was 4th, beaten by 8 1/4, but when you look at kind of the way the field spread out in there, you know, horse wasn't that far off of 3rd. I will say the 3rd place finisher didn't run well yesterday in a sprint race, but probably needs to go longer. You just have to think Best in Class can take a little bit of a step forward, second off the freshening and dropping in class. So I think the $4,000 level is the best chance that he's going to find his friends. Now, I will say late October last year, he faced several of these horses and just could not be competitive at the $4,000 level, but have a feeling based on what we saw last time out, maybe this one can take a step forward, is starting to finally put it together. Now, Julie Mathis sends out a pair in here, and I think both of them make a lot of sense. We'll kick it off, though, with the 4 Screen Legend out of her 2, who I thought was a game second last time out. It was a compact field. There were scratches in that event. Was in for 6,000, and Take My Allowance was the horse to beat. They couldn't beat that one, was clear in there, and you have to remember Screen Legend was clear of the 3rd and 4th place finishers, and the winner has already come back to win since then. So I think Screen Legend's going to find the friends, is yet to race for the $4,000 tag in his career, and has a good shot of graduating today. And finally, the stablemate is the 5 Black Hills Sheriff. First time, though, now in the barn of Julie Mathis. And you look at the 2 efforts, and obviously took a step forward in comparison to where this one finished second time out, but the Beyer speed figure very, very low. And I think it does bode well, though. Look at the name of the winner. Short Story Long, might ring a bell. Was able to take the opener on the card today while trying the dirt for the first time for John Sims, and that was an allowance event for non-winners of 2 Life. So take what you will with that performance. I think if you look at it at face value and you go, 4 Beyer speed figure, you're probably not intrigued. But I think when you look at how easy Short Story Long won that event and combine that with the fact that that one came back to win again today, it might make you think a little bit differently about the 5 in here. So Julie Mathis, both of her runners have a big shot in here, but I went in a little bit of a different direction, looking for a price with the 6 Best in Class. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's fourth race. Race 4 is a maiden claimer for 3-year-olds and up, going for a claiming price of $4,000 down to $3,750, traveling a distance of 6½ furlongs, competing for a purse of $15,000. Race 4 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, and 20-cent pick 3 wagering. Race 4 Post Parade number 1 is Frack City. Edgar Zenteno rides for trainer Ken Smith and owner Radcliffe Racing Stable. Number 2 is Magical Champagne. Alexis Sanchez riding. Steve Cathcart trains and owns in partnership with Joseph Roberto, Guy Robert Blair, and Dan Blair. Number 3 is Final Run for Love. Chris Husbands has the call for trainer Bill McMahon and owners Janelle McMahon and Amanda Ezra. Number 4 is Screen Legend, racing for John Brown. Juan Crawford pilots for trainer Julie Mathis. Also from the barn of Julie Mathis is the number 5, Black Hills Sheriff. Terry Husbands rides for owner David Mathis. Number 6 is Best in Class. Ishmael Mosquera in the saddle for trainer Joe Humber, who owns in partnership with Tavis Dalziel. And completing the field, number 7, Java Power. Matthew Dennis rides for trainer Eric Raganoth and owner Donald Hall. 1 minute to post for race 4, final pick 3 of the day offered here. Field for race 4, heading into the chute, approaching the starting gate. Last call to get your race 4 wagers in. They'll be heading to post shortly. Field for race 4, heading behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Support coming in for the Mathis stablemates. Even money on Screen Legend, number 4, and 5-2 on the number 5, Black Hill Sheriff. Also support on the number 2, Magical Champagne at 5-1. Final pick 3 of the day offered here in race 4. It's a field of 7 $4,000 maiden claimers. First to load is Frack City with Edgar Zenteno. Magical Champagne and Alexis Sanchez to gate 2. Final Run for Love and Chris Husbands. Even money on Screen Legend, looking to give Juan Crawford a race-to-race double. Black Hill Sheriff and Terry Husbands to gate 5. Black Hill Sheriff acting up behind the gate. And Black Hill Sheriff is in. Best in Class with Ishmael Mosquera. Java Power and Matthew Dennis will complete the line. All set. And they're off. A very level beginning. Magical Champagne is showing speed from the inside. Screen Legend is now vying for position. Between them, Final Run for Love. Black Hill Sheriff also right there. And Java Power forwardly placed. They are tussling for the early lead, giving good position to Frack City. And the trailer is Best in Class. 5 across the track. Magical Champagne, Final Run for Love, Screen Legend, Black Hill Sheriff, and widest of all, Java Power. These 5 went the opening quarter in 23-2. Frack City well positioned from 6th, and it's another 1.5 to Best in Class. They race into the turn, a short advantage to Final Run for Love with Screen Legend to his outside and Magical Champagne right there on the rail. Black Hill Sheriff is back into 4th with Java Power to his outside. Then it's 4 more lengths to Best in Class, and the trailer is now Frack City. 47-3 to the half. It is Final Run for Love and Screen Legend dueling into the stretch as Magical Champagne calls it quits. Final Run for Love on the inside, Screen Legend on the outside. The advantage is Screen Legend. Here's a late rally from Best in Class down the far outside. Screen Legend has the lead from Final Run for Love. Best in Class is closing. It's Screen Legend up by 3. Final Run for Love trying to hold second, but Screen Legend and Juan Crawford going on to an easy score. Screen Legend by 3. Final Run for Love held second from Best in Class, then well back to Java Power. 6.5 in 1:20-3. Unofficial in race 4, the winner is number 4, Screen Legend. Second is the 3, Final Run for Love. Third, number 6, Best in Class. And fourth, number 7, Java Power. Unofficial race 4 order, 4, 3, 6, 7. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 4th race, number 4, Screen Legend. Screen Legend is a 4-year-old Greyer Roan gelding by Big Screen out of Awesome Lass, bred here in Ontario by Spring Farm. That's a natural double on the card for Juan Crawford. Screen Legend is trained by Julie Mathis for owner John Brown. Screen Legend breaks the maiden in start number 15, completing the 6 1/2 furlongs in a time of 1:20 and 3. Congratulations to the connections of Screen Legend. Hold all tickets until race 4 is made official. And race 4 is official. Prices are up. Screen Legend pays $360 to win, $240 and $210. Second, number 3, Final Run for Love, $610 to place, $350. Third, number 6, Best in Class, $3 to show. $2 exacta, 4-3, $19.20. The $1 try, 4-3-6, $23.65. $1 super, 4-3-6-7, $82.90. $2 double, 6-4, $10.20. $1 pick 3, $16.05. And the $1 early pick 4, $127.40. The winner was claimed. Number 4, Screen Legend, claimed by Ascot Stud and Michael Blake Sr., moves to the barn of trainer Michael Blake Jr. Fan favorite Wiener Dog races return to Fort Erie Racetrack Sunday, July 13th. Registration details available on our website. Admission, as always, is free. More dog racing action coming up this summer, Sunday, August 17th. Be sure to come on out for the Basset Hound and Corgi races. Race 5 coming up in 18 minutes. There are no changes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rider change being announced here for the first time on the number 3, Taylor Moon, here in race 5. Make the rider Chris Husbands. Once again, put Chris Husbands on the number 3, Taylor Moon, here in the 5th race. That's a late rider change here in race 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a different
Getting ready here for
rider
race
change
number 5. It's
on
for
the
the
number
Fillies
5,
and Mares.
Taylor Moon.
$5,000 claimers in the spotlight, set to go 6.5 furlongs here on the main track. And it's an interesting group. I think it's pretty competitive. I do think, though, for me, one horse sort of stood out in terms of the top selection. That's the Rail Runner, the number 1 Hot Omelet. In terms of what we saw last time out, the horses that finished in front of her, just tougher than this group today, in my opinion. Getting Ahead, who we saw today, finished 3rd in that allowance event on the turf course in race number 3. And then Super Cop, who ran a game 2nd in that event. To me, you know, you look at that $7,000 claimer, maybe you don't think it's a ton of difference at this $5,000 level. I think it is. I think the other thing is I prefer Hot Omelet going a little bit longer. You look at the wins last season, one of them was at 6.5, but I really think longer term we're going to see Hot Omelet go around 2 turns. But that additional 16th of a mile I think will help this one tremendously today. I do like Cheyenne Kerr sticking with this one. Gets along really well with this mare. She already has a win on the program earlier herself. So Hot Omelet's where I start things from here. The number 4, Born to Be Good. for Stephen Cathcart. It was a big price last time out in that starter optional claiming event, but drops back down to a level where she can be competitive, and typically in her races here over the main track, she shows up. Another one that can stretch out around 2 turns if need be, but I think for her, it's just the class relief. Staying at the distance is what she needs as well. You look at her season last year, just a very consistent type, and not a horse that's going to be on the lead, in my opinion. I think the tactics with Born to Be Good are going to be sitting maybe 2 lengths off of it and try to make a late run. And you can see the rider, Alexis Sanchez, very familiar with this one, has been in the saddle a couple of times and was aboard for that win 2 starts back. And finally, on the outside, the number 7, Tamana here for Julie Mathis. Just second start in the barn. She's been a tough one. She can be very, very good, or if she's not sharp from the gate, I don't think she's the strongest. And last time out, she chased the pace. She backed out of that. It's a tough group, starter optional claiming competition. Crafty Oaks has come back to run okay since then, and then Mountain Sound was the runner-up in the Cup race here for the Fillies and Mares on Father's Day. So another one that gets class relief. She figures to take a step forward, second off the freshening, a consistent type last year, but for her, it really comes down to the break. She does get the advantage, though, of the outside draw, and if she's sharp from the gate, she could be extremely tough in here, but she's going to be a short price, and for just kind of the reasons that I explained already with Hot Omelet, I prefer her a little bit more here, and maybe she does want to go longer, but I do think 6.5 should work out good for her in this spot. So we'll go with Hot Omelet on top, Born to Be Good underneath from post 4, and then the 7, Tamana. Good luck.
Okay, a couple of late changes to announce. First off, here in race 5, we have a late scratch by order of the stewards. Take out the number 3, Taylor Moon, as there is no available rider. Once again, a late steward scratch of the number 3, Taylor Moon, here in race 5. Win, play, show, exact or try, double and superfecta wagers on number 3, Taylor Moon will be refunded. There'll be a consolation double paid out from the race 4 double. And if you were live to Taylor Moon in any pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 wagers, you will inherit the post-time favorite. Once again, that is a late rider change of or a late steward scratch of the number 3, Taylor Moon, here in race 5. Then if you'll turn your programs forward to race 6, we have a rider change on the number 5, Lulu's Lullaby. Make the rider Cheyenne Kerr. The weight will be 119 pounds, no overweight for Lulu's Lullaby in race 6. That's a rider change on the number 5, Lulu's Lullaby, Cheyenne Kerr, and revert the weight back to the original 119 pounds. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce our non-winning ticket draw winners for the day. Could Peter Thompson and Brian Gavarone Please report to customer service. You are today's non-winning ticket draw winners. That's Peter Thompson and Brian Gavarone. Congratulations, you have won the non-winning ticket draw for today. Field is making their way on track for today's fifth race. Race 5 is a claiming race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race in 2025 or which have never won 4 races. We're going for a claiming price of $5,000 down to $4,750, traveling a distance of 6 1/2 furlongs, competing for a purse of $15,750. Race 5 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, and 20-cent superfecta wagering. Race 5 post parade. Number 1 is Hot Omelet. Cheyenne Kerr rides for trainer Josh Robillard and owners Hoiwing Ip and Michael Chung. Number 2 is Mimi's Holiday. Edgar Zenteno in the saddle for trainer Ken Smith and owner Radcliffe Racing Stable. Scratch the 3. Away from parade, number 4, Born to be Good. Alexis Sanchez rides. Steve Cathcart trains and part owns with Joseph Roberto. John Sims owns and trains the number 5, Creative Performance. The rider is Pierre Mailhot. Number 6 is Nicole's Song, racing for Tessa Pissarro. Deshaun Gaskin will ride for trainer Joe Humber. Completing the field, number 7, Tamina. Kirk Johnson rides. Julie Mathis trains for Bruno Schickedans. Late double wagering offered here in race 5. Race 5 field is heading into the chute. Not much time left to get those race 5 wagers in. 3-2 favorite is the number 7, Tamina. Co-favored with the number 1, Hot Omelet. Late double wagering offered here in the 5th. Race 5 field set to head behind the starting gate. It is now post time. 7-5 on Tamina, 3-2 on Hot Omelet. These two take the bulk of the support. as we kick off the late double. Reminder, racing is back next week at Fort Erie, 4:30 on Monday, 12:15 for Canada Day on Tuesday. For now, still the late double for this week. First in, Hot Omelette, Cheyenne Kerr already with a winner on the card. Mimi's Holiday, Edgar Zenteno in the Radcliffe Racing Stable Silks. Born to Be Good and Alexis Sanchez to gate 4. Creative Performance, Pierre Mailhot aboard. Nicole Song and Deshaun Gaskin. Even money on Tamina and Kirk Johnson to complete the line. All set. And they're off. Mimi's Holiday broke a bit slowly. Hot Omelette is showing speed from the rail with Creative Performance. Born to Be Good is tracking them. Nicole Song is vying for position on the outside with Tamina. It's well back to the trailer, Mimi's Holiday. 4 across the track as they race onto the backstretch proper. It's Hot Omelette and Tamina. They've got the advantage over the middle 2, Creative Performance and Nicole Song. It's 3 lengths back to a well-spotted Born to Be Good and then another 5 to Mimi's Holiday. The opening quarter, 23 seconds flat. They race within the half-mile pole, and Hot Omelette leads the charge into the turn with Tamina breathing right down her neck. Now Tamina puts the head in front. Creative Performance and Nicole Song races a pair. Graping closer from 5th is Born to Be Good, and it's well back to Mimi's Holiday. Hot Omelette takes the lead back from Tamina. These two have been locked in battle through a half in 46-1. There's a quarter of a mile to go, and these two have opened up 5 lengths on Born to Be Good, who's trying to rally. Tired are Nicole's Song and Creative Performance. At the head of the lane, it's Hot Omelette. She's trying to put away a stubborn Tamina. Down the far outside, Born to Be Good is trying to rally. The advantage is Hot Omelette. She's up by a length. Tamina tries to come right back. It's Hot Omelette. Tamina fighting back. Hot Omelette looking for the wire. Hot Omelette and Tamina. Hot Omelette will hold on. Hot Omelette gives Cheyenne Kerr a double. Tamina was second, then Born to Be Good and Creative Performance, 6.5 in 1:19.3. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 5th race, number 1, Hot Omelette. Hot Omelette is a 6-year-old dark bay or brown mare by Jiu Jitsu Jacks out of Cat Dan. Bred here in Ontario by Bruno Chickadans. A riding double on the card for apprentice Cheyenne Kerr. Hot Omelette is trained by Josh Robillard for owners Hoywing Ip and Michael Chung. 6th win in 27 starts for Hot Omelette. She's now 4 for 5 over the Fort Erie main track. She digs in to complete the 6 1/2 furlongs in a time of 1:19 and 3. Congratulations to the connections of Hot Omelette. Hold all tickets until race 5 is made official. Prices are up. Hot Omelette pays $5.10 to win, $2.30 and $2.10. Second, number 7, Tamina, $2.30 to place, $2.10. Third, number 4, Born to Be Good, $2.50 to show. $2 exacta, $1.7, $8.80. The $1 try, $1.74, $12.70. $1 super, $1.745, $47.85. $2 double, $4.1, $7.10. The consolation double with the late scratch number 3, $2.90. And the $1 pick 3, $11.05. Mark your calendars. The 90th running of the Prince of Wales Stakes is coming up on Tuesday, September 9th. New this year for the Prince of Wales, we'll be having a fashion contest. Come out to see who will be crowned the best dressed at the 90th Prince of Wales. Race 6 changes. We have a rider change on the number 5, Lulu's Lullaby. Make the rider Cheyenne Kerr. There'll be no overweight. Lulu's Lullaby will carry the originally listed 119 pounds. 17 minutes to post.
We wrap up our first 2-day week of racing here in the nightcap. Race number 6, a nice turf event at about 7 furlongs. It's for the $4,000 claimers, Colts and Geldings. And we'll see if Josh Robillard can continue the hot streak. The rail draw has been good for him yesterday, today, just now in race number 5 with Hot Omelet. Now he sends out the number 1, Dots Vision, who is just one of those old timers that shows up time and time again. And he's done very well here locally on the green. He's 9 for 15 in his career. And in terms of his return to the races, I'm going to forgive him a little bit. He's a 10-year-old. He probably needed the race under his belt, and he finished mid-pack in there. I think he's going to be fresher, second off the bench. You go back to some of those races last year, he was just 3 for 7 in the money, but he was able to win, and I think here with the inside draw, it's going to benefit him a little bit. He doesn't necessarily need the lead, but I do think he's most comfortable from a forward position, and he should be able to get that knowing that he has the inside. So Dots Vision on top. I think his class is going to carry him, but a little bit of a price, the number 6, Mr. Masik's here for Joan Mitchell. Amanda Vandermeer climbing aboard, is yet to race here on the turf course. And in terms of those wins, it does have a win on the grass. You have to go pretty far down the page to find it, but it was this time last year up at Woodbine while in for 14,000. Was really able to close from off of it. And I kind of hope that, going forward, we might be able to see this one going a mile and a 16th rather than 7/8, but maybe needed the race last time out. I do think this one could take a step forward just because those dirt races haven't necessarily been his most productive, and his one dirt one was going long. So I think we're going to see some form reversal from the number 6, Mr. Masik's, and then finally the number 7, Palace Prince. Raced really well last time out, was kind of chasing the pace and actually kind of made a nice move and just flattened a little bit to finish 4th last time out, but got a 65 Beyer speed bigger, which would certainly put him in the mix for the top spot in here. And another one that could certainly take a step forward. I wonder what the trip's going to be in this spot. I wonder if they'll try to commit to being forward once again, or they'll be a little bit more comfortable rating, but I wouldn't toss this one out by any means. Could be interesting, especially if used early. But for me, the number 1, Dots Vision, the old timer at 10 years old. We'll see if he can get his first win of 2025. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's sixth and final race. Race 6 is a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race in 2025, or which have never won 4 races. We're going for a claiming price of $4,000. Traveling a distance of about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $13,500. Race 6 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, 20-cent super, and 20-cent jackpot high five wagering. Race 6 post parade. Number 1 is Dot's Vision. Chris Husbands rides for trainer Josh Robillard and owner Aaron Rickman. Howard Keane owns and trains the number 2 Mobilizer. The rider is Pierre Mailhot. Number 3 is Dragon's Brew, racing for Michael Bellissimo. Juan Crawford rides for trainer Roy Agostino. Number 4, Prince for a Day. Deshaun Gaskin has the call for trainer Joe Humber and owner Robert Elkins. Sue Andrushko owns and trains the number 5, Lulu's Lullaby. Cheyenne Kerr picks up the mount. Number 6 is Mr. Mystiques. Amanda Vandermeersch in the saddle for trainer Joan Mitchell, who owns in partnership with David Weingarten. Number 7 is Palace Prince. Terry Husbands riding for trainer Julie Mathis and owner Alicia Robillard. Number 8 is Hardware Gap. Michael David has the call for trainer Roy Agostino and owner Even Steven Stables Limited. Last to parade, number 9, Collaborative. Edgar Zenteno riding for trainer Nick Bellini Jr. and owners Centennial Farms Niagara, John Lennox, and Jim Craig. Jackpot high five wagering offered here in the 6th. Starting game is moving on to the turf course. Not much time left to get your race 6 wagers in. Co-favorites, number 1, Dot's Vision, and number 7, Palace Prince, both offered at 5-2, 3-1 action. on the number 3 Dragon's Brew, and 9-2 support on the number 9 Collaborative. Competitive betting board in the 6th, about 7 furlongs over the turf for the Jackpot High Five to close out the racing week here at Fort Erie. Field for race 6 is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Field of 9 to go 7/8 on the turf course for the Jackpot High Five. Final race of the racing week here at Fort Erie Racetrack. We will be back on Monday, first post 4:30. Canada Day Tuesday, 12:15. First to load, the 10-year-old veteran Dots Vision with Chris Husbands. Mobilizer and Pierre Mailhot to gate 2. Dragon's Brew, the 2-1 favorite with Juan Crawford, looking for his 3rd win on the day. Prince for a Day, the gray with Deshaun Gaskin. Cheyenne Kerr also looking for her 3rd win on the card. She picks up the mount on Lulu's Lullaby. Mr. Mystiques with Amanda Vandermeersch. Co-favorite Palace Prince with Terry Husbands. Long Shot Hardware Gap and Michael David. Last in will be Collaborative with Edgar Zenteno. Collaborative reluctant. The others wait patiently. 8-5 on Dots Vision, taking the late money. Collaborative steps up. We're all set for the nightcap. And they're off. Dots Vision out well from the rail with Mobilizer hard ridden to make the early lead. Prince for a Day is also looking for position with Palace Prince deep on the course. Dragon's Brew is mid-pack along the inside with Collaborative. Then we have Hardware Gap, Mr. Mystiques, and the trailer is the filly, Lulu's Lullaby. Prince for a Day rushes up on the outside of Mobilizer to take the lead. These two have opened up 3 lengths on the pair of Palace Prince and Dots Vision, who saves ground as they turn into the backstretch. They turn in and the opening quarter was completed in 22-3. They're going quick. Making a wide bid is Collaborative, followed by Hardware Gap. Dragon's Brew covered up behind horses. Then it's 3 more lengths to Mr. Mystiques and the mare, Lulu's Lullaby. Midway down the backstretch, Prince for a Day has opened up 3 lengths on Mobilizer. Dots Vision is trying to advance along the inside into contention with Palace Prince. 3 deep Collaborative, 4 deep Hardware Gap. The half was 46 flat. Dragon's Brew biding his time. He's about to be joined by Mr. Meeseeks, and the trailer is still Lulu's Lullaby. Midway around the sunset turn, Prince for a Day's lead is down to a length as Dot's Vision looms up dangerously. Dot's Vision, the 10-year-old, puts the head in front at the head of the lane. Palace Prince finds somewhere to go. Up the inside, Mr. Meeseeks tries to rally. Here's Dragon's Brew down the far outside. Dot's Vision has to hold off a late charging Dragon's Brew. Dragon's Brew coming. Dot's Vision digging in. Dragon's Brew. Dot's Vision. Dragon's Brew gets the head in front for Juan Crawford. It's Dragon's Brew by a head. Dot's Vision a game second. Palace Prince and Mr. Meeseeks 124 and 1. Unofficial in the nightcap, the winner is number 3, Dragon's Brew. Second is the 1, Dot's Vision. Third, number 7, Palace Prince. And fourth, number 6, Mr. Meeseeks. Unofficial race 6 order, 3176. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 6th race, number 3, Dragon's Brew. Dragon's Brew is a 7-year-old bay gelding by Milwaukee Brew out of Miss Dragonfly, bred here in Ontario by Goldmart Farms Incorporated. 3 wins on the day for Juan Crawford. Dragon's Brew is trained by Roy Augustino for owner Michael Bellissimo. Dragon's Brew, 6th lifetime win in 41 starts. His first start over the Fort Erie turf course is a winning one, rallying to complete this about 7 furlongs in a time of 124 and 1. Congratulations to the connections of Dragon's Brew. Hold all tickets until race 6 is made official. And race 6 is official. Prices are up. Dragon's Brew returns $680 to win, $370 and $250. Number 1, Dots Vision second, $260 to place, $210. Third, number 7, Palace Prince, $230 to show. $2 Exacta 3-1, $15.10. The $1 Try 317, $16.50. $1 Super 3176, $70.95. $1 High Five 31765. $1,192.45. There were multiple winning tickets in the high five, so the carryover into Monday's card will be $9,385.30. $2 double 1-3 2680, $1 pick 3 3510, $1 pick 4 7170, and the $1 pick 5 $253.50. On screen now, the win photo from race 6. Jackpot High Five carryover continues to grow. Monday's carryover will be $9,385.30. Visit our website, FortErieRacing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show to get info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping selections, and info about upcoming races and events. Racing resumes next week at Fort Erie. Monday's first post will be 4:30. Tuesday, for Canada Day, we will be starting at 12:15. Come on out on Monday, June 30th. After the races, we'll have a free concert at the Tiki Bar featuring The Trip. Wiener Dog races coming back to Fort Erie on Sunday, July 13th. Registration details are available on our website. Admission is free. On Sunday, August 17th, there'll be more dogs coming to the track. The Basset Hound and Corgi races will be coming back. Come on out for Fort Foodie Fest, Sunday, July 27th. Don't miss the delicious action. Post time is at noon. We want to say thank you to our partners at Oneida, New Holland of Niagara, who are providing us with a new tractor this season for our track maintenance. We're very grateful for our partnership with New Holland. Tune into your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 700, Thursdays at 10:30 and Saturdays at 10. And that concludes the racing week here from Fort Erie Racetrack. We want to thank everybody for joining us here today. Despite the hot weather, we had a nice little turnout on this Tuesday afternoon. We will be back next week, Monday 4:30, Tuesday 12:15 for Canada Day. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a great rest of your Tuesday night from all of us here at Fort Erie Racetrack.